Hi there, it's Marnie Homer from Copywriters International, and I am the Queen of Content Creation. And today I am absolutely thrilled to have the amazing, incredible Jennifer Amore here, all the way from the States. How are you, Jennifer?
I am so excited to be here. I have been waiting for this moment, so I'm super excited. So I appreciate you having me on.
That's all right. I mean, part of this series, Interview with a Legend, is because you stood out to me. I don't even know how we connected, but we did. And your mind, girl, your mind at your age absolutely blows me away. It really does.
Thank you so much. I seriously appreciate that.
So, Jennifer, for the people that don't know you yet, tell them why. Tell them why you're here today. Why do you reckon I picked you?
Well, Interview with a Legend. That's actually a serious honor, and I really appreciate that. When I heard what your segment was called, I was taken aback. I was like, oh my gosh. But no, it's powerful, and your movement is powerful, and I appreciate you letting the alpha woman that I am come on to your queen of content here. So I appreciate that. I admire women who strive to get everything they want in their life. And I feel like sometimes the vibrations of the world kind of bring us together. So I think on LinkedIn it kind of pulled you to me and me to you, so I think there is a power in that with content and just video content. I try on LinkedIn a lot in my other content, but LinkedIn has a special place in my heart right now. I just feel like my community is really growing on there. And I love everybody who comments and, engages and everything. And I just tried to let people know that, it's okay to have a bad day sometimes. And also because even myself, sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who feels like this. And I know that's not true, so I try even on the days when I'm not having that great of a day to let other people know, hey, it's okay to kind of take a step back and realize that, maybe you're not having the best day, or I just want people to know that it's okay to be real. I feel like social media is so fake, and it brings people this mindset within their self that because they're not where everyone else pretends to be, that they suck. And like they're, why try? Because there's so many things, it's all smoke and mirrors, and most people, what they're putting on social is only what's on social, and it's not really their life, so I really want people to know that they can do anything that they want to do. So I feel like maybe you might have vibed with my content because of that, maybe reached out. So
yeah, I think so too. And I mean, like my background, obviously, I've been at this for like 40 something years now.
Right.
Like trying to find the answers. I grew up in a terrible environment, so I didn't have the confidence and certainty. And I look at you at 29, I look at you and I think, oh my gosh, if only I had what you have now at that age. Oh my gosh, like I know full well that you are just at the beginning of your journey and you are going to go all the way, my girl. I can absolutely see that that's what's going to happen for you because of your mindset and just the strength and what you're doing for young women, because that is so needed these days. It is so needed.
Yes.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so tell us, Jen, is it all right to call you Jen? Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay, Jen. So where did this come from? Have you always had this, or was it something you've learned along the way?
So I feel like I've always been older than I actually am. Like, how they say, like, you have like a wise old spirit about you, or, like you're an older spirit in a younger body. I always feel like I should have been from like the roaring 20s, but I love that era. But no, I grew up really having to grow up pretty quickly. My sister, I only have one sibling, and she is 4 years younger than me. My mom was sick our whole childhood, in and out of surgeries in the hospital. And, 2 weeks at a time, she'd be there and we'd go visit her. My dad worked shift work. And so we would stay at our grandparents' house a lot. And I picked up the baton of like being my sister's mom. And so this was, she was a baby. I was translating for her to our grandparents. They wouldn't understand her. They'd be like, what does she want? And with her little gibberish, I would be able to tell them what she needed. And So I just basically kind of became her mother, like at a young age. And because my mom just really couldn't do it. She tried when she felt good enough, but that was very seldom. And my dad, you know, when he'd be home from work, he'd be out in the garage tinkering. He's one of those guys who's super crafty, and I love him for that. But, you know, we just had a lot of time together, and I feel like I had to grow up really quickly and become mature very quickly, making, you know, decisions. Obviously, like when I hit being like a teenager, 15 and all that, like you go through being a teenager and, you know, preteen and everything. But as far as like taking care of someone, that never left me. And just all through our whole life, basically, she'll still call me on Mother's Day and be like, Happy Mother's Day. You know, so it's just funny because I feel like that kind of helped me grow up more. Sometimes like I wish I had more of a childhood where I could just kind of relax. But at the same time, you know, Ed Milet is somebody I really look up to. And he always says to try to think that things happen for you, not to you. And when I heard that the first time, I was just like, wow, like, you know, everything that I've been through in my life really made me who I am today. And so I really believe that, you know, things happen for you, even if it sucks, even if it's horrible. But if you turn into someone amazing because of it, then you might as well rock it, right?
That's exactly right. You and I actually had a similar background. I mean, my father was also a tinkerer out in the garage. So I can remember many times getting a knock on the wall to come and hold some piece of wood while he sawed it or something, you know. It's like you were pretty sure you're going to lose some fingers at one stage, you know.
No, yeah. My dad loved to work on cars. He buys old raggedy cars and fixes them up and flips them, sells them. Yeah. So he's got a little bit of that entrepreneur spirit in him, but he never really did anything with it besides that. So.
Yeah, my dad too, actually. It's funny, isn't it? It's like for my dad, he hadn't got past the fear of failure. He hadn't got past that lack of self-belief even. So even the few little things that he tried just never went anywhere because he didn't put time into it. He didn't keep going. Like so many people out there these days do. Like, I mean, you'd know yourself, like it's not easy what you're doing.
No, it's not. No, it's not easy.
It's not.
And there's plenty of days that you just want to like bury your head in the sand and be like, forget it. And then like 2 seconds later, you're like, that's not me. I can't forget it. You know, so it's like this constant fight with yourself about, you know, pushing past. Cause you know, it's funny because I feel like you, especially you would know, and just, you know, when you don't quit, that there's something at the end of it that you're going to really be happy with, you know? So for a lot of people who get into either starting their own business or even becoming like a content creator and like trying to become a brand that people really know, it's hard to quit because you realize what you've put all the work in and you've started. And, you know, even on the hard days, you're like, you know, I got to push because I can't quit. I've come all this way. And what would all this time that I've put in the work for be good for if I quit now? So yeah, but it does get hard. It's like it's a roller coaster of emotions, you know, when you're doing this journey. So
absolutely. And I think that's the same for anyone that goes into business for themselves. Do you know, it's not an easy ride. Okay. There's going to be times when, like this morning when I woke up, for example, first time in a long time.
I saw your post. Yeah.
I normally jump out of bed and go, yeah, what's on for today? And today it was like, oh, you know, and it's like, it's important to take note of those times as well, because I mean, that's a normal human emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I know. I had last week, I had like 2 days where I was just in a funk and I could not shake it. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I was like being hard on myself because I'm like, I try to remind myself on those days, I'm like, you have nothing to be upset about because your life is really good. And a lot of people would kill to have what you even have, even though it's not what, you know, it's not mega millions yet and all this kind of stuff. But I'm like, for what I have, like I have a blessed life. And I try to remind myself of that. And then some days I'm like, I know, but I still want to feel like poo today. You know, it's just one of those days. But yeah, so I totally feel you on how you felt this morning because I've been there.
Yeah.
But look at you. You're smiling today. So you win, you know.
I do.
Let you get it down. So
absolutely. I mean, like, and that's the thing, you can't. I mean, there are so many people that they don't deal with the mindset side of things before they embark on their businesses and stuff like that. And I mean, guilty, absolutely guilty. Like, you know, I've got some horrific stories of self-sabotage and things that I've done in the past with thriving businesses, you know, that were like, you know, where people would absolutely kill to have, and good old Marnie just did something dumb just to self-sabotage because I didn't have that self-belief and that self-worth. So how important is it, do you think, for any women or men for that matter, it doesn't matter who you are, to have that self-belief and that self-worth in themselves before they get started?
I feel like if you don't have that, it's going to be harder than you could ever imagine, because it all starts with like the choice that you made to do what you're doing was because you believed in yourself, right? So it's funny because normally kind of how we even got started in this whole thing was, we come from a background where I was working like the front desk at a dental office, and I was doing that. I was the manager there. My husband, he got into shift work because we lived in like this smaller valley in the Pacific Northwest where, basically working at this, either the mill or like the manufacturing plant was like the two best jobs in the town. It's a very small-minded area. And people don't really strive for more. Like you're either a business owner there or like you are filling all the jobs in the valley. And then if you're like, oh, I work here or I work here, then people are like, oh, you've made it, and then you're just like, so it's so small town. And so we just kind of decided, we were like, you know what? We know that we're made for more than this. There's nothing here. And at that point, we honestly, we wanted to start a business, but we didn't know what kind. We did not want to start like a storefront or anything like that. So we were just like, I don't know, but I know I want to. So like that seed was planted for us wanting something, right? And so we were like, let's move to Texas. Like we've always wanted to go. Like, let's just get out of here. All my family was there. And it's just, sometimes it's rough being so close to your family because, the lines get crossed a lot and there's no space, especially when you live down the road. And, so there was a lot of things that we just needed a break from. And so we were like, let's go to Texas and just have an adventure. We were very adventurous people. We like to take risks and see kind of what happens. So we ended up moving to Texas. Best thing ever as far as just being able to really come together and be ourselves and, be in our marriage without everybody kind of butting their nose in. And we absolutely love it here. And so it's like the first place I've ever felt actually at home. And so it's been a really special ride, but that's, I mean, we're just trying to really make sure that we take the steps to make our dreams come true. But as far as like believing in yourself, it takes guts to do something crazy. And if you do it, I promise the reward will be there, but it's going to be hard. So just dig in and believe in yourself. And at the end of the day, when it's hard, like when you're ready to cry or give up, the belief in yourself will kind of like haunt you in the back of your mind. Like, don't give up on me. So just be prepared for that if you haven't been there yet. That's all I want to say for anyone listening. If you haven't hit that yet, it's coming. So.
Yeah. I actually love what you said there when you're talking about the unconscious, because that's where 90% of our thoughts and behaviors come from. But I really loved what you said there when you said, don't give up on me. Because when you quit, when you start something and you worry about what family might think or friends might think, or you worry that you're not good enough or you're not worthy, or you just want to go into business but you fail to do so because of all of those fears, the only person you're really giving up on is yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because they're not going to be there in the times. They just want to say what they want to say because everyone loves to say their opinion. But when you need them, they won't be there. And so it'll be you and your decisions that you made. So make them for yourself. That's what I want to say too. Make sure my couple past videos have been kind of geared towards, not making other people happy as much. Like, make yourself happy, because at the end of the day, if you're not happy, you won't be serving anyone really with like the truest part of you, because you'll be depriving yourself of all this stuff. I've been there, done that. I was in a slavery, chains to myself of making sure that my extended family was happy with everything, trying to please them and not caring about myself and what I really wanted, but making sure everyone else was fine. And it's not a fun road to go on.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many people that just hold themselves back, from getting out there and creating, the life that they could absolutely live. And all that actually does is like they wake up one day and you're not here yet. And this won't happen to you because of your mindset. But one day you wake up at 40 and you think, shit, do you know? Like I'm 40.
Like I haven't done anything. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then of course, next thing you know, like 50's here. And it's like, holy shit, you know what I mean? I'll say
it's a new 30, right?
Yep, I'm hanging on to that with dear life, darling. I'm 49 this year, so I'm hanging on to the new 30.
Hey, it's a blessing. Like I'm so excited to be 30, and I try to think about it this way. I'm like, not everybody gets the next year in their life, So every year that I age, I'm just like, thank you, because I've had people I know die at 6 years old, or so I'm just so thankful to be here still on this journey. Sometimes I feel a little like, holy cow, what's the point of it all? I feel like you have to have a purpose, because if you're just grinding it out with no purpose, you can just be like, why? Like, what is the point? What is the point of going through all this struggle? And for anyone, like whatever job they work at, it's like, if you don't have a purpose that's kind of pulling you forward, you can get lost in, why am I here? What's the point of life? What's the point of humans? You can go down the rabbit hole with that.
So we were talking about rabbit holes beforehand. I've gone down the TikTok rabbit hole lately, and that's not good. That's a subject.
I know.
So then tell us about Team Alpha.
So Team Alpha brand. So we got started in 2018 with that. And part of the story about, coming to Texas, my husband was, he was staying at home and I was working at another dental office, and our best friend, David Wynn, shout out to David. He kind of introduced us to the whole idea, because we were like, dude, we want to do a business. We don't know what to do, what direction to go in, because we were both like into media. Like my husband is a flipping computer nerd, and I love social media and all this stuff. And so now he can't be mad when I'm on social media, because I'm like, it's all for the job, babe. So I kind of scored on that one, because before we were in social media, it's like, you're always on social media, but now I'm like, it's our career. Like anyway, but yeah, it's funny. So I mean, we just both were like, looking into marketing, and we were just like, yes, like obviously there's so many facets to it and so many different things you can offer, and it, there's a big learning process through the whole thing. But I mean, we love helping people, and so that's like my biggest passion, and my husband's too, is basically our focus now is really going to be for content creation for ourselves. Like we want to be a brand. We are already starting our movement of being alpha, right? Our hashtag be alpha. And we believe that you should think that you are the alpha. Like you believe that about yourself, about your life. So Team Alpha Brands, we do offer marketing services, but really this year we're pushing into, reaching other people, allowing them to know that they are alpha in their life. And we want to have a movement where people are like, I am alpha brand. Like I am alpha, because people are so broken just day-to-day life. And we really want them to know that there's a power within them. There's, a purpose. They're not just here to go to work in the morning, clock in at 9 o'clock, clock out at 5, and come home and just rinse and repeat. Like that's not living, in my opinion. There's got to be more than that. So not everybody has to become an entrepreneur or whatever, but you have to find a passion, and unlock that and then go for it. I want people to just be like, no matter what their age is, the other day I posted, I'm like, if you're 15, if you're 70, if you are breathing, you still have potential, right? To change your life. You still have potential to reach people and to do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to go climb Mount Everest, or you want to, run across the entire United States raising money for cancer, or whatever it is, like you can do anything you want. It's just about making it a priority. So
absolutely. And I think that's a very important point that you put forward there, that it doesn't matter how old you are. Like it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter, where you live. You can do whatever it is you want. You've just got to take the action, and you've just got to make it happen, because there's nothing you cannot do. It's the world is everybody's oyster. All they've got to do is get around that mindset and know that they can. Now, my parents are a classic example of not believing in themselves. They both had a dream, and neither of them completed it before they died. And that is actually very, very sad, considering that their two dreams could have been done. They were pretty much side by side. Dad wanted to ride the train between Las Vegas and Denver.
Oh.
Okay. And Mum wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. So two simple things.
Could have been done.
Could have been done at the same time. They could have jumped on a plane. They could have gone over together. They could have, and that was for me. Like, I mean, I was already on the path of self-development, but that was a real kicker for me. My mum died just short of 2 years ago, and just to have her whisper to me 2 days before she died that all she ever wanted to do was see the Grand Canyon, and it was like, wow.
You're like, you could have done that, you know? That's what I don't want for people. I don't want them to go through their life not choosing themselves, you know? I believe a lot in making memories. Like, that would have been a memory for your mom that she would have never forgot, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's a huge part of my life and my husband. We love to travel. We love seeing new things, even just around us, you know, in the, you know, driving distance. I love to go exploring because I feel like when you see new stuff or you do new stuff, it kind of like ignites your soul, you know, it makes you feel alive. Like the constant same thing over and over, the routine, I mean, down to literally from when you wake up to you go to sleep, if it's the same every single day, you kind of lose inspiration for doing anything with your life because then you start getting sad, or you just kind of, complacency is a huge killer of people's dreams. They're just like, I've always done it. I'll just keep doing it, you know?
Yeah,
so I just feel like memories like that for your mom and your dad, like that would have been incredible. And, you know, I'm sure they could have attained that in their life, you know, and I'm sure that helped inspire you though, to really make sure that you and your family, you know, do everything that you want to, or at least strive to do it, you know, versus kind of letting it stick. So
well, you know, they kind of won't let me out of the country at the moment, but
remember you saying well, anywhere in the outback, I guess.
Yeah,
the outback really is like scary as it sounds. I've seen I have seen on TikTok, like you were saying about TikTok, I have seen videos of like the most buff kangaroos. Like they look like they're men who like go work out at the gym, and I'm like, oh heck no. Like no.
Yep. If you come across one of those, you get away. You get away because they will hurt you, and they have no qualms of doing it. You know, they will hurt you.
They're so big and like literally have like rippling muscles. If there's anyone watching who's never seen a kangaroo like that's buff, go look it up because it's crazy. Like it will make some men be like, I need to hit the gym.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey babe, look at this. Look at these arms.
Yeah. And you know they will actually come and box you. Right?
I know, I've seen the videos. It's insane. That's crazy. I mean, I guess here you got to worry about in the Northwest and like Alaska, you got to worry about like grizzly bears and stuff, but you know, not boxing kangaroos. So I don't know what people would rather have.
Yeah, I think we've got like you know, out of the 10 deadliest snakes, I think we've got like 6 of them too. So it's like, it's real
literally everything, and I don't know, the stuff I've seen of Australia. I'm like, it's so pretty, and you know, I love Finding Nemo, but I don't know if I can go. I was actually Finding Nemo up. I love it so much.
I was actually in northern Cairns a couple of months ago, and we went out on the reef, and I actually saw a real Nemo. Flopping in and out. I actually saw a real Nemo.
That's awesome.
It is.
That is something to check off on your bucket list because not many people probably will be able to say that. So
that's exactly right. So go up to Green Island and go on the glass bottom boat, and you'll get to see a real Nemo.
See Nemo.
You get to see Nemo. So, right, Jen, so if you could give like the people out there, like, you know, whatever age, 3 tips right now, like on how they can just get started or just make that move towards their passion and purpose, what would you tell them to do?
So first, I would really kind of self-reflect and kind of see what is it in your life right now that you don't like, and what would you want to change about it? Because that will kind of help steer you into, you know, your passions. If you have like a passion that immediately comes to mind, like you can pretty much monetize anything you love. So whether it's, you know, if you like fishing or, you don't have to go out and like start a store or anything like that. You could do an online store and you could sell, merchandise for fishing, whether that's hats, shirts, or if you want to sell actual like bait and tackle type stuff, like you can literally do anything. And so I would just say for the first thing is just kind of pick your passion, and you might already know what that is. Like your whole life, maybe you've had a connection towards one thing, and then kind of see if you can monetize on it. Or if you're not really worried about that, then I would just find a way to implement it into your life more so that you can, really enjoy things more. Mm-hmm. And then just secondly, kind of always realize that you don't know everything. And that's a huge thing. Like I was telling her before we got on recording here, like when I was 15, man, I thought I knew everything. I thought my parents were stupid. I thought I was like, you don't know anything. Like I know everything. I'm a 15-year-old. I have all the answers, And so then when I turned 18, I realized I didn't know anything. And then I've been on like a journey ever since of kind of roughly figuring that out along the last 10 years. And basically like the last 2.5 years is really when I've hit my journey hard on like, okay, what do I want for my life? So no matter what age you are, you can start at any time. So, don't think that you missed the boat because you didn't, because you can start at any time. And for the third, I would just say, make sure that whatever you're deciding to do, just go all in and just give yourself the chance to fail or to succeed, because you never know what's going to happen. And if you fail, we have all failed on the way. It's all the failures. Like A-Rod, he's, somebody that I've looked up to my whole life. When I was little, he was my favorite baseball player. And he has failed so many times, like set failure records. But he was like one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid athlete. Right. So it doesn't matter how many times you fail, guys. Like you can keep going, pivot, be willing to pivot is another huge thing. Is, if something is just not working and you don't think it's ever going to, pivot and find something. How can you like tweak this a little bit? How can I change it? How can I make it better? Or what's not working about it that I need to fix? And then I would just go all in and become obsessed and just give yourself the chance and see what can happen, because it can't be any worse than where you're at now. So just go for it. And
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Best advice ever. I mean, I'm often telling people just to make sure you focus, you stay in your own lane. And exactly that. If something's not working, then take note of what's not working and do something else.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, do something else. Exactly. It's those that choose to like quit at the first hurdle or the second hurdle who never end up fulfilling what they want in their lives and never finish what it is that they wanted to achieve. Do you know what I mean? And you're right, we've all failed. I mean, I've had some epic failures in my journey. Absolutely. Right. Even in just the last few years. Like I'm coming out of a very dark time over the last few years. So it's like,
I can get it out, and that's what it is too, is in the darkest times, recently over the last year, I was really kind of in a place like I didn't want to be location wise. And like, I felt kind of like stuck, like I didn't know what to do. And those were some of the hardest times. Like when you don't know how you can like physically or mentally or actually like help yourself, sometimes you feel so lost. And during those times, I was basically dreaming of where I am right now, like, so it came to fruition. It came to pass that I got out of that really hard time that I was struggling with just, why am I here? Why am I in this moment? Why am I in this situation that I'm in? Like, why? I just didn't understand, and I was just like, I do know that everything that I go through teaches me something, and I try to learn from it so I don't have to repeat, I'm like, okay, I got the lesson. Let's not have to go through this exact one again, So like to the universe, God, I'm like, please, like, I get it. Okay, let's move on. So, but yeah, I mean, when, like you were saying, if the last couple of years have been super hard for you, you seem to be happy right now. I know people can, you can put on a show, but I mean, you seem to have like a genuine, excited spirit about you. And so I admire that and I appreciate that. And I'm excited to get to know you more and not just like have it stop here at, an interview. But, I feel like the strongest of us really figure out how strong we are when it's the worst moments, not the best. Because anyone can be happy in the best moments, like when it's, ooh, yeah. But when you're in your darkest times, like that's when who you really are shines through, because you're figuring out how deep am I willing to dig to solve this, or to get out, or to believe in myself enough that I have to push through it. Because if I don't, I'm going to just sit in this bad part, this bad time. Like, because if you don't push to get yourself out of whatever situation you're in, you're just going to sit there in it. So you've got to get going. You got to pick up your feet. You know, when I was in that time and I was struggling, just feeling so bad, I told myself every day, I was like, you better do, like telling myself, like, you better do one thing every day, girl, that will get you to the next part of your life. Like one thing, even if it's hard, just get one thing done per day. That way you didn't waste one day. Because if you sit around moping, crying, and feeling bad about yourself and feeling bad, like poor me, then you wasted a day of like getting one step further. So like, I just kept telling myself that every day. This day is one step closer to me getting out of here, out of this situation. So it's just, you have to, it all comes back down to like what you asked before about self-belief. You have to believe in yourself, because there's going to be times where everyone around you may not, or they may not believe in you enough for you to keep going. They might tell you it's okay to quit. It's okay that it didn't work out. It's taking a little longer than it should. You know, maybe this isn't really what you should do. And if you listen to that, you're going nowhere, and you're going to stay failing because you're not going to try. You know, people, and I feel like if there's anyone listening who has family still, you know, they can be some of the biggest problems. And I love all my family. I'm very blessed to have my family, but at the same time, you cannot listen to what they're saying. Something that is a huge belief for me is if someone isn't actually doing better than you, and like they're at the level where you want to be, then you shouldn't be taking advice from them. Right. So if there's someone, I'm striving to, you know, become a multimillionaire, billionaire would be awesome. Hey, Sarah Blakely, love you. But so that's my goal. So I'm not going to listen to someone who makes 40, 50K a year. And I'm not knocking that, but I'm saying if they have no intention of making their life better and becoming that status, they're not already there. I'm sorry, baby doll, I ain't listening. You know, I know you have good intentions, but you didn't do where I need to be. So I'm finding people above me so that I can reach up and come up, you know, I'm not trying to climb down, you know? And so something that really, one last thing about that, something that hit me like a ton of bricks when I first realized it, I can't remember if it was a video or a meme or something, but for anyone who's never heard this, there's a reason why they don't put a lid on a crab bucket, because if one crab tries to get out, the rest of them will pull them back down. And so that's the one, like when it was like one of those life altering, I know it's crabs, but I was just like, it all makes sense, you know, because it's like people don't want you to succeed, even though they say they do. They don't. And most of them. And it's easier for them because if you make it out and you're doing bigger and better things, it's only going to remind them what they never achieved. And so sometimes, you know, even though it's uncomfortable, they want you to stay the same as them because they don't want you to change, because that sucks for them when they look in the mirror and say, I never did anything and I'm not trying to do anything. And they're making me look bad because, you know, I'm not doing anything. So just be careful, be cautious of who your circle is, whether that's friends or family, because oftentimes you should never be taking advice from them. Love them through it. Just let it kind of in one ear out the other, and don't listen, because it's not what you need to hear. Find a mentor or find people to look up to who are at the status that you want to be at, and then see how they did it and go after that, because it's so important. So,
it is.
We're on a little rant there, but
that's all right. No, that's absolutely. This is why I love you. This is why I wanted you to come onto the Legend series, because this is the beauty that I see in you. Your videos, like, I mean, it takes a fair bit to blow me away these days, but you do.
Oh my God.
You absolutely do. And that's why I chased you down. I wasn't letting you go. I messaged you.
Come here. I'm reeling you in with my Australian. What is it? Fishing pole. There we go. I couldn't think of it.
Yes.
Big old net. You know?
Yeah. But that's exactly it, isn't it? I mean, like, it took a couple of times for us to connect, but I wasn't quitting on you.
I know. You're like, I'm coming for you, girl. You better talk
We're
to me.
doing this.
Yeah. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Yeah, so am I. You've got so much amazing advice to give so many people, and being as young as you are, and you are just a baby in my eyes, it's so great because that generation that you're part of, they need you. They absolutely need people like you. Yeah. So, Jennifer, how can people reach you? How can people find you?
So you guys can reach out to me here on LinkedIn, or you can find us at Team Alpha Brand on Instagram. And we're also on TikTok, since we were talking about that, at Team Alpha Brand Official. We're on there, but just beware if you don't like spiders. I do have a couple spider videos up there of my new jumping spider babies. So, but anyway, we kind of have a mixture. Our TikTok is more for like, our funny random selves. And then, like LinkedIn and Instagram is more kind of chill, but yeah. so definitely reach out, connect with me here on LinkedIn, Jennifer Amore, and then Team Alpha Brand on Instagram. So that would be the best way.
Awesome. Yes, I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. It's amazing.
I do too.
Yeah, it's definitely the home for me as well. So please do connect with Jennifer, connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Yes. Jen, this is not over for us. We've got a long journey ahead of us, the two of us.
I'm so excited. And folks, this is one of the reasons to not give up when you're trying to contact someone, because this woman, she reached out to me quite a few times and was like, hey, like, let's connect or whatever. And so now, I mean, you can have, that's the thing about being persistent, is you can have relationships come out of it that you never imagined before. And if you give up, if she wouldn't have messaged me only that one time, then, maybe we wouldn't be talking right now. So follow up, people, follow up. Everything is the follow up.
Yep. The fortune is in the follow up, they say. Yes. And so you need to do that. That's right. Jennifer, it's been absolutely a real delight having you on here today.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure.
And if you've got one final thing you'd like to give to the audience, what would that be?
Yes. My thing that we say here with Team Alpha Brand is basically be known or be forgotten. So if you are, in business, or even if you're not, like, let's say, obviously if you're on social media, you're some sort of a dreamer, right? Like you either like entertainment, maybe you want to be an entertainer, maybe you're trying to be a content creator, or just get a business, or start your business, or grow your business, and you're utilizing social media. Social media can change your life. Like, don't think that it's just for children, or that it's just something to do. Like, I have met people, I have relationships with, like, I don't know if you guys have heard of Grant Cardone, Elena Cardone. Elena and I stay in touch, and that happened all out of being online on social media. I've met her, and when we got to meet her in person, she literally hit Grant on the elbow and was like, hey, I know these guys. I know these guys. Like, as we walked up to them, and I was just like, how is Elena Cardone like freaking to Grant right now saying, I know them. So that would not have happened without social media. So social media is key. And if you need help, obviously, reach out to Copywriters International and figure out a way to get started doing this, because it is key to your business. If you don't have a business, but you just like entertainment, our content's here all day, every day for you. But I would just say social media, if you guys are on social for a purpose, it can literally change your life, open doors of opportunity that you never thought you would have, and it can change everything for you. So don't give up, because you never know what video is going to catch someone's attention. And it doesn't matter how many people see it, it matters who sees it. So
that's exactly
right. And
right.
Be alpha. That's what we always say too. So be known or be forgotten, be alpha. That is definitely what my final words would be for you guys for now.
Awesome. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
That's all right.
We'll talk to you
one more
soon.
time. Yep. Catch Jennifer on LinkedIn. Catch me on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And there's loads more to come. Thanks so much.
Thank you.